in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good night, everyone, and get ready because it's time for the late chip at the video store.
I'm flicking the link to my mum and I'm like, I'm going to do it under time. Like, I'm going to have that theme song going. I'm like, don't you run out on me. Like, I need more time. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Good morning, good evening, good to you all. It's always such a pleasure to be here on a Friday night. Jake knows what's up.
Yeah.
Give me a hi, hello, hey. I like to know who we've got. It is a lovely Saturday morning. I was a little bit late to our pre-show meeting today because I just woke up early and watched the Children's Hour. And what an emotionally devastating way to start my Saturday. So I hope everyone else is having a nicer start to the week.
A good time.
And being emotionally wrecked like I will be for the rest of the day now. Mike, how you been going?
I've been doing good. Just been watching a shitload of movies like usual.
I do want to touch on the challenge at the end because I've been doing stuff. Alan, hello, my darling. Hopefully we've got Kat around as well. The cat, that was the other thing. I'm only just drinking my morning coffee now because the cat's been on me all day. Yeah, we've got our link in the chat. We have a really fun topic today.
But no, we don't.
No, we don't. We've not done the banners. Mike, you have one job. You have one job. Get the banners on the screen.
Right
there we go. Fictional Villain was right. I'm just not all that bad. So this came about because I'm going first, if that's okay.
Well, of course.
Because this is probably the question that we're going to get maybe a few hot takes, a few spicy opinions, if you will. This is opinion I've had for the very longest time, ever since this was in my VHS collection. This is an all-time classic Kelly Love movie. We watched it a few days ago after I was recording a Future Doing Disney podcast. We were talking about this movie as well, and I'm like, I need to watch it again, and it crosses over on the challenge as well. In my humble opinion, take that what you will. My humble opinion, Jareth the Goblin King, played by the legendary David Bowie in Labyrinth, did absolutely nothing wrong. Gave Sarah everything she could ever wish for and tells her such in the movie at the ending. She said, I wish you would be taken by the goblins like right now. She said it. She initiated that. He appeared. He did her wishes. He helped her at most times in the labyrinth, like at some places. Yeah. And then like you've got the dreamy dance sequence. You've got where he was just gonna like let her live in this beautiful dream world. Like I think I said it to you, Mike, when we were watching it. It's like if he pulled that shit on me, like I would have had no hope. Like, you gave me a big poofy white dress and a masquerade ball. It's like I'm not coming out of that. Like that's weird. But at the end, he even says like in the Within You songs, like I moved the stars for no one. Like it's so good, and he did it for her. Nothing wrong. He was just doing his job. I love it. Mike, what are your thoughts on Jareth the Goblin King just really not being that much of an actual villain, in my opinion? Do you agree? Do you concur?
I hadn't seen it in years, so at first I didn't agree at all. But then we watching it with you, you know, I finally did start to see what you saw, and I went, okay, I get it. I get why. It makes sense.
Let us know in the chat. I sort of like want to have an ongoing conversation going like yes or no, like Jareth, give me a yay or nay, like bad guy, good guy. Like let us know in the chat if you have as strong opinions on Labyrinth as I do. Please let us know. We've got our link in the chat. Please click on. I'm looking forward to some really fun discussion today. I want to see what opinions you guys bring. We have someone backstage already who I'm very keen to see. I don't see any video yet though, so I'm going to give them like a little bit of time, and I'm hoping they're hearing what I'm saying. Otherwise, if we're just audio only, that's cool too. I don't mind when that happens. Mike, make a call.
Yeah, we're just gonna put them on and see what happens.
Joseph, you there?
Hi.
Hey, he is here.
How are you doing today?
I'm afraid I've been better.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Well, in your opinion, which fictional villain was right or just not all that bad?
Okay, I'm gonna turn this on for now. All right. So
Oh,
I was just preparing to get in the better position, but anyway. So okay, so nobody else is. It just started, right? Nobody.
yeah, it just started. You're good.
Okay, so
Please,
right.
give us your best choice.
This is a little bit of a recency bias and also a little bit of a personal bias because I just rewatched this movie, or at least last month I rewatched it, and it's my it's as of now it's my favorite movie. It's Princess Mononoke. The villain, Lady Eboshi, has a very
I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but I did too. I thought we were doing a halibut at the start. I thought that was epic. But please, Lady Eboshi, this is up my alley. Go.
Yeah, so the first time I watched this, and also subsequent watches that I've seen this, Lady Eboshi has, on the outer appearance, a very driven character. Sorry, Kaiser. She's trying to gain iron from the forest, but she's also destroying the forest. So with all the wanton destruction and with all of the gods, the animal gods that she's angering, the opening scene with the boar is amazing. And later on, I see her and I want her to like suffer the consequences that she's been doing. And then Miyazaki does something very interesting. There's this, well, two specific reveals for this character that made me not hate her as much, despite the terrible things that she's doing to the forest. It's revealed that she's has a softer spot in trying to help out some underprivileged people, some people who come from very difficult and terrible backgrounds, that made me go like, okay, wow, please be a better person to the forest. Like, what she's doing is terrible, and the way that she goes about it is kind of scary to me, because especially the ending, what she does to what she does at the ending almost goes off the rails and things happen there. But these two specific reveals about her own character made me try to have more hope for her. And that's a recurring theme that I have with the movie. Like, it's hoping against hope that all these characters and this entire situation improves for everyone. And that's that's my pick.
I love this pick. This is actually on my shortlist as well. If it didn't get brought up today, I was definitely going to mention it because I find Lady Eboshi such a transfixing character, because I had the same reaction as you. She takes women's from brothels and buys their contracts. She gives lepers a purpose and something to do. She finds these people that are outcast from society, gives them a place, gives them power, gives them community. So it's really fascinating. And I was thinking about Ghibli movies in general. It just tends to be, there's no major villain. Villain is life. Villain is conflict. Villain is your circumstances. Like, I find that concept really fascinating. And yes, she does do that one very heinous act, but you do get that little bit of redemption at the end where she says, we're going to build a better Irontown. And Driver kills it in the vocal performances. Mike, have you watched Princess Mononoke yet?
Yeah, I actually watched it very recently for a certain podcast on doing Disney. And yeah, I actually agree. I agree. This is actually a good choice for this for sure. I like it.
Joseph, thank you for coming on and giving us your choice today, though. Love it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Joseph.
Lady Eboshi, let us know in the comments. I mean, Kaiser was going to pick it. Payson thinks it's a phenomenal pick. I think that's a pretty good one that we all think is maybe like had some redeeming qualities, was a little bit in the right. I just want to go back to Alan's comment. What was he going to do with a child? I think you mean a babe with the power. Power hoodoo, you do. Yes, okay, yeah, he's going to turn into a goblin, but he wouldn't have been there if Sarah hadn't have willed it. So, Mike, bring someone on, please.
We got the man, the myth, the legend. We got Bo.
Hi,
How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I actually get to be here for once. I'm happy.
Well, then please bring us your best answer. she does roll. Who is a villain who is either right or just not all that bad?
This person isn't right because their goal is admittedly terrible. But this person is not a bad person. Kelly, you and I recently talked about this character. It is Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. Absolutely. The ultimate, like, he's not a bad guy, but he's a bad guy. Like, he is in that, like, Zangief from Wreck-It Ralph thing of, like, yeah, he is the villain. But I feel like he's a villain just because of, like, that's all he feels like he can do. He wants to take over the tri-state area so he can say he takes over the tri-state area. Like, this is a guy who, because he was told, don't make a mountain out of a molehill, built a machine to turn literal molehills into mountains. Like, I love this guy. And, like, he's a good dad. I think that's important to note, is that he's actually a good dad, not, like, super aware of what his daughter's interests are, but he genuinely is trying to be a good dad to Vanessa. And he's really not a bad person. He just has, like, bad goals.
Oh, I was going to bring up the dad thing as well because there's definitely like, okay, he's a bit of an inept villain. He's a bit of a clumsy villain. Like, he's never going to win the day, so that obviously makes us like sympathize and empathize with him. But then you get a bit of that backstory where like he had no birthdays growing up or something, so then he always lavishes Vanessa on her birthday with her gifts. And I think this is a really fun choice. Mike, what do you think about Dr. Doofenshmirtz Villain Incorporated?
I have not seen Phineas and Ferb. However, with both explanation, I'll agree with it off of both explanation. I have not seen it, so I cannot judge it by myself. But off your explanation, I agree that this would be a good pick.
Yeah, it very much lives up to like, yeah, you're the villain, but yeah, you're just not a bad person. Like, he's a good person at heart.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on. Here's your pick today, Dom.
Thank you, Bo.
Okay, hit us up in the comments. Dr. Doofenshmirtz, what do we think? Good guy, bad guy, in the right, not bad. Let us know. Mike, who else have we got?
We got another man, the myth, the legend that rarely comes on, but when he does, he fucking explodes with euphoria. We got Cody.
I'm so excited to see what this pick is going to be. Cody, which fictional villain was right or just not all that bad?
Okay, I can't lose now after that last pick. Terrible choice, but like always. But I was going to pick a few things. One, I was going to pick, the disease that takes out Jenny, but I think that is actually takes out because she's the true villain in Forrest Gump, so that does fine. I was going to choose the iceberg in Titanic. It was just there. They should have avoided it, and it killed a bunch of people. Not its fault. But my honest one, and it's kind of, I guess, a typical one, I'm going Magneto. Because he's not a villain. He's against what they want to do, but the one person that shouldn't trust governments to, like, decide to put them places or decide what they do with themselves is probably Magneto. He should kill everybody that tries to put their hands back on him because, he survived the Holocaust. So, at that note, Magneto, how can you make a Holocaust survivor the villain? That's a bold move, Stan Lee, but I'm just not for it. I think he's justified and he should be able to take care of whoever he wants at any point. But Iceberg and the disease that takes out Jenny also justified in everything they do.
Magneto, such a strong pick because we all know that the true villain of the X-Men franchise is human society. Like, so Magneto will never be the number one villain of X-Men. Like, and I do like the different portrayals that we get of him, and everyone sort of brings a different side to him. So, like Ian McKellen's one, as opposed to Fassbender's one, like you're getting different points of why he's acting the way he's acting. So I definitely think Not All That Bad is maybe not right. I don't know. It's somewhere in that gray area, but that's where I like to live with my villains. So I think this is great. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I 100% agree with Cody that, and with you, it is definitely a gray area, but showing, especially in the first X-Men, opening with the scene it opens with, you understand why he's doing what he's doing and why he does not trust the government at all. And and they show throughout the movies, mutants are treated like shit throughout. So yeah, of course he's gonna believe what he believes. He does it in a very vicious way, but he gets his point across.
I also want to say something to Joseph. I understand it's fictional, but I don't follow the rules when I come on these shows. I say what I want, and it was never confirmed to be AIDS, okay? So never say it out loud. It is what it is. Deal with you.
Okay, love it. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us a great pick today.
Thank you, Cody.
And of course, the chat already blowing up with that one. We already know where people are siding on this one. Magneto being a good choice. Magneto was right. We're definitely seeing like that development of that opinion, because I think growing up as like a kid, it was like, oh, Magneto's the villain, but now comic books as well sort of really get to flesh it out as well. And as I said, I find it much more interesting when it's like regular people are the bad guys, regular people are the dicks. I find that. Is it? Aled, correct me. Is it God loves, man kills, where that sort of all comes about in that line? But anyway, we've got our link in the chat. If you haven't joined us already, do. We have someone backstage, but I don't know if they are ready for us yet. I might wait until they find a suitable car park and they can give us a thumbs up when he's ready. We've got someone else, so that other person has a bit of time. Oh, he's ready. I got the thumbs up. We got to go. Jake, you got to wait, darling.
We're bringing on.
Bring him in.
He's back. He's back in the car. The car. We got Payson.
It's so. My mum coined the term "on location with Payson." Bring it to us. What do you got?
It's so funny. The past few weeks, I've been in my house. First week, I call in when I'm a new video store employee. I'm back in my car.
And I hope it never changes. I love it. Payson, what
absolutely.
Do you got for us, love?
Yeah, so I'm actually going for a more comedic pick, and this is one I've heard. It's not the most original thought. Like, I've heard this thrown out a while, but it stands to be reasoned. If you have three guys that are in a fire station with the power with the power of atomic bombs at their hands if anything goes wrong, and we're gonna villainize the EPA agent that is trying to shut them down. Walter Peck has done nothing wrong. We constantly see throughout the movie that Venkman, Egon, Stantz, and eventually Winston have no idea what they're doing. Their technology is like rattling whenever they turn it on. Like, if something goes wrong, the entirety of New York is blown up, and we've seen these guys are not like the most responsible in the world, and we're gonna try to tell me that Walter Peck is the villain? No, this man is a hero. He is trying to keep the world safe. I get it. He's dickless. He's an asshole. But, like, you can't blame him. Like, if I knew about these guys, I'd be like, they're domestic terrorists. They're threats to the public. I'm sorry. Like, I love the Ghostbusters, but you can't blame Walter Peck for what he's trying to do.
Oh, I love this pick. Mike and I talked about this in our brainstorm before. Yeah. We were really, really hoping someone would come up and bring it up. And as I was brainstorming things, because I had the same, I was like, I've got the same feeling as Shug McGavin from Happy Gilmore. It's like, if you have some arsehole come in that is untrained and take your shot away from you, like, comedy villains aren't bad guys. They're just dicks, or in this case, dickless. Like, they're just a bit of an arsehole, But yeah, the motivations are somewhat reasonable. Mike, what do you think of this pick?
Oh yeah, 100% I agree. His motivations are completely reasonable. He's trying to stop shit from happening, and he is correct. They fuck up. Like, everything they've transpired explodes and all hell breaks loose because of the shit that they tracked. So he was right the entire fucking time.
Payson, great pick today, darling. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thank you, Grayson.
Exactly, like, should we go just going about his business, just trying to fucking win? Like, the only wrong thing he sort of really did was paying off that guy, but then we wouldn't have got the really good quote of "you jackass," which I think I say nearly daily. So, Mike, who we got?
We got an Australian.
Woo!
We got
Jake.
Jake.
How you
Hey,
go today? In the
good.
morning, I always love it.
in the morning, and the thing is that I start work in like 25 minutes. I've already got my name tag and my outfit and everything.
Then
so,
let's go,
okay,
darling.
I'm here, yes. I'm not gonna lie, this is very tough. I had like 4 choices and I had to try to sort of narrow it down. Even now as I speak, I've still got like 2 options. I'm trying to think which one would be the one that sounds the better one to go with. And I'm gonna go with a recent one. I think I'm gonna go with a recent one, and it's from my favorite movie of last year. I'm going with Jobu Tabaki from Everything Everywhere All at Once. One, Stephanie Shu is just like, it is one of my favorite performances of last year. I think she is just absolutely having fun with this character. But the way that the movie sets her up to be like this great evil that's trying to destroy the multiverse, and then you find out that it's Joy, it's Evelyn's daughter. And then you just find out that, no, I'm not trying to destroy the multiverse. I'm just trying to destroy myself because I see everything. And if everything can happen, then what's the point? I decided to put everything on a bagel, all my hopes and dreams, all my, just everything that I've done and felt, and just to see if I can destroy myself because of her relationship with her mother and just sort of the generational trauma. It's just something so existential for a villain to really go with. Like, I really love how Magneto is about like the safety of his people, and you even have characters, I don't want to say other characters just in case, because I know a lot of other characters that people will say, but just Jobu Tabaki is just like, I don't care about everyone. I just want to destroy myself. I just feel like there's nothing else to it. Like, the nihilistic themes really play into that character, and the fact that she sort of redeems herself at the end when she reunites with her mother. And that's what the movie's about. Like, similar to what you were saying, Kelly and Joseph, about Miyazaki and how the conflict and just, the dynamic between characters and their ideals is like the real villain. This is sort of the same way in that it's the relationship between Evelyn and Joy, and that they are just on different set paths. Like, they have to move on, and they have to just deal with the issues that they have. And I just think that that's something that I wasn't expecting, especially the way the movie sets up to be this great villain, and it turns out that, no, I'm just angry at my mom. Like, that's something that we've all can relate to. It's just on a multiversal scale where she can manipulate and warp reality to her will, which I find absolutely amazing. And that one sequence where she kills the police, I just think is so much fun to watch.
I just watched this for the first time last week, and when we talked about this question, I was like, I really hope someone can come on and say Jobu Tabaki. And Jake, you just really summarized it so much better than I could have ever said it. Where about the nihilism and about how it is an existential villain, and when they're looking through that bagel and such, and then you get that absolute heartbreaking scene at the end where she's saying to him, I'm like, just let me go. Just let me go. Like, oh, I was emotional at that. But what I think is, and what sort of Melissa's bringing up as well, is like with the iconic outfits, it's like we're still seeing this character have fun and whimsy, even though she's deadpan on it. Like, it's a good balancing act on the directors and writers' choice to do these ridiculous things that they can be doing, like with the pinatas and the rocks and things like
and
that.
And the dildos.
And I was like, this is going to win Best Picture. Like, I don't believe it.
Oh, God.
But no, I think that's a fantastic pick. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I think, especially being very recent too, this is a great one to bring up. Like, she is not necessarily like completely in the right with everything she's going for, but
she does kill people. She's been killing Evelyns around the multiverse.
Yes, but like her reasoning makes sense of why she's doing it, and that's the exact part of this question is why it's that maybe they're not necessarily right or they're not all that bad, but she has a right. She's in the right for what she's doing. She's just doing it in a very bad way.
Yeah, right. Jake, have a good day at work, darling. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks so much, guys.
Jake.
Getting some really that was a bit of a spicy pick. So yes, we're having some really good choices in here. Joe Packy seems to be going over in the chat pretty well as well. Some good, everyone's saying a good choice. So I am ready for whatever chaos our next guest. He never brings us a conventional answer. I'm really
Especially
excited.
with what he's eating right now. I can't fucking wait for this.
I'm jealous and keen. Bring him on, please.
Bring him on mid-bite.
I thought you were talking about someone else backstage.
Nick, how you doing tonight, darling?
Doing well, guys. How are you? You never made ice cream that had cookies and cream and chocolate chip cookie dough in it?
Oh yeah.
That looks amazing.
Crazy. I had an answer. And then literally Kelly brought up Shooter McGavin, and I was like, holy shit, I was going to say Arnie Shankman from Anger Management.
Shit.
Literally was a childhood bully because his sister was having problems, and so he grew up in a rough family. He was a bully, and then Adam Sandler goes, he's like, I'm so sorry I was a bully. And then Adam Sandler's like, well, I'm going to beat you up now.
I was thinking about Adam Sandler as well, because even for Billy Madison with Bradley Whitford, I'm like, well, yeah, if you had worked your whole life at a company and just through nepotism, some dickhead who's playing with his shampoo and conditioner in the bus 5 minutes before the movie's going to come in and take your job.
Yeah, but I do have a better answer.
Go.
A real answer, not like a joke Nick answer. My answer is Terrence Fletcher from With That.
Good shit.
The question is, which fictional villain was right? I do think he is. I think he's pretty rough. He's not a good guy, but I love this. This movie is my third favorite movie of all time. And the reason is it really gets you thinking, because the whole thing is he's abusive and just the worst person to his musicians. But his reasoning is you don't get to be the best of the best unless you are pushed to your absolute limit, essentially. And at the end of the day, he's kind of right. The story he tells about Charlie Parker and the symbol being thrown at his head, it's the next. There's a line where he's where Neiman, Miles Teller, is but aren't you worried you're gonna discourage the next Charlie Parker and he'll never become Charlie Parker? And he goes, no, man, the next Charlie Parker would never be discouraged. And it's oh shit. And then by the end of the movie, he's right, because he does that awful thing to Neiman when he invites him back to play in the band and then just gives him a song he's never heard. It's that's the most thing I've ever heard, I've ever seen. It just brought me back to band, because I used to play in jazz bands like that. And so I literally I was there. I was like, oh my God, if my director was just hey, there, because I played sax. So if I was one of two saxes in the band, and he was now we're going to play Upswinging. And I'm we're going to do what? That's some fucked up shit. But then it's the push over the edge that Neiman needs to become this insane drummer, when he was a very average to below average one at the beginning of the movie. It just shows that the potential in everyone is there, but it's the people who push past the Terrence and have the Terrence Fletchers in their life that become the greatest of the great. Wild. Not saying he's a good dude, but this movie makes you think, and he's not the most wrong.
I love this choice, because I was going to ask Nick, you playing band as well, because when I watched this movie in theaters, I was in the theater and there was only 2 other people there, so it felt like one of those private screening times, when you get to have those sort of sessions. And I remember watching this, and when he would start, because I played in brass band in primary school and stuff, so it brought back that as well. So the baritone, not as sexy an instrument as the saxophone. But when he would start and be not my tempo, you're just doing that opening over the dun, 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 over and over and over again. I felt that for sure. And then especially towards the end, when they're just playing off of each other, that ending caravan montage is always burned in my brain of that performance at the end. And I remember there's that close-up of Miles Teller, and you just see them breathing and sweating. I could feel my heart, I could hear it when I'm sitting in the theater. So I 100% agree. Yeah, not a good person, but sometimes a bit of that necessary evil, maybe. Evil's
Like,
a strong term.
he
but
probably
that
shouldn't be
phrase.
teaching He probably shouldn't be teaching kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, probably not.
Like, yeah, look, I get it. Like, any parent would be like, why is this monster teaching my child? But, like, outside of that, good point.
Yeah. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think Kelly said it best with the necessary evil. Is that he is a fucking asshole. He is chucking chairs at children. Like he's doing bad shit. But his reasoning behind it is kind of sound. Like, he just wants the best fucking band possible. So he's gonna do what he needs to do to get that. And he proves it by the end. Like Nick said, and he does get that smile on his face when Milestone actually fucking does it.
Yeah. I'll go back and watch that drum solo just on its own, like all the
So
time.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Nick, thanks for coming on and giving us an awesome pick today, darling.
Thank you, Nick.
Hi, guys.
If you haven't been on yet, please let us know in the chat. Terrence Fletcher, Joseph said, of course, someone would bring this one up. I agree as well. This is one of those beloved films in the community. JK pulls up yeah, J.K. Simmons in this role is so good. If you haven't been on yet, please.
Hey, movies on my
Welcome to a surprise impromptu episode of Movies on My Life. Mike Hanley, you've already been a guest, so actually you interview me.
Right? We're back.
Mike, we have a last minute call into the counter. We've got a few last minute call-ins. Please bring someone on, please.
We got Brooklyn.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah.
Dan, it is storming. The province is basically a sheet of fucking. As soon as I walked out of work, I ate shit about 2 steps in. So night inside, and it's a reminder that I live on a rock that is just far away enough from the sun.
Does that tie
I'm
us
cutting
over to
out
your
that.
fictional villain? A little bit, but you're okay now,
no.
I think.
I am absolutely okay now. So my villain is Teddy KGB from Rounders.
Okay.
Oh no.
Cool.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
No, we've got you. We're giving you the space to talk, darling.
Perfect. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So Teddy KGB is not all that bad purely because he's just another fish in the fucking pond. When you think about how that script is written, it's written from the perspective of Mike and like Matt Damon or whatever. But like even whenever Mike is going into the room full of I think it's like the college professors, and he's able to break them down individually, and like when you take that back and you're like, oh, that's absolutely something like a villain would do. And like Teddy shows respect to the game. Like even the big quote that he has is pay the man his money, because like that entire time like he's doing what you should be doing. Like he has pocket aces, he flops like the 3 of a kind, like the best hand, and he's doing basically the same thing that the hero would do. And I think it's just it's a great character, and I was like thinking about what the answer could be, but yeah, I had to go with this.
Love it. I haven't seen this one. This is heavily high on my to watch list. So, Mike, what do you think of this pick?
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with Brooklyn. Like in a villain perspective, he is just trying to win a fucking poker game. That's all he's trying to do. Like Matt Damon, we are rooting for Matt Damon because we're following him the whole time, but Teddy KGB, as we know him from what we see on screen, he's not a bad guy. He's probably killing people off screen that aren't paying him. More than likely, that's what he's doing, but we don't get to see that. So technically, he's just trying to fucking win a poker game. So I agree with it.
Love it. Brooklyn, thank you for coming on and giving us your pick. Stay warm, stay safe, enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
But, Mike, who else have we got, please?
We got Jack.
Hey.
How you doing, Jack?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's been a long day, but I'm here now, so I'm happy. My pick was gonna be Terrence Fletcher, but I waited a little too long to come on. So I'm just trying to figure something out, and so I think I'm just gonna go with the standard Jack pick. I've mentioned this character quite a few times. It's from my favorite Planet of the Apes movie, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'm going with Koba. I think he's a brilliantly written character, and honestly, he's not wrong, and like what he's doing is evil and horrible. Like, he's committing mass genocide against humanity. However, you understand his reasoning behind his actions. He's known nothing but pain and hatred for humans ever since, well, Caesar, before Caesar rescued him from the labs in the first movie, where he was experimented on and tested and all that. And then you see him turn from Caesar's most loyal friend to the one who, at the end of the day, tries to take him down, and because he thinks that Caesar is betraying his own people to the humans. And it's a very well written character, and I can't get enough of it. Favorite thing every time I watch those movies is Koba.
I love this pick because it's definitely Planet of the Apes gives us that good sci-fi setting to sort of really explore motivations and things like that. So I think that really is what this character is about. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Oh, I 100% agree with this pick, especially after watching the first movie. You see what humanity is doing to these animals. So, well, of course, this motherfucker is going to have some like pain and want to inflict pain on them after what he's just experienced. So it makes 100% sense. Yeah, he is an evil motherfucker, as we see, but his reasoning behind it is sound.
Exactly.
Jack. Oh, sorry. Anything else to say, Don?
Oh no, I was just gonna say thank you so much for having me on.
Oh yeah, of course.
Really enjoyed
Anytime. Love it. Have a good evening, now. Bye.
Have a
See you,
good
Jack.
Love it. I haven't even put in the comments, please. Teddy KJB and now Koba, let us know where are we ending up on the villain scale for them? Are they right? Are they just not that bad? Give us your opinions in the comments. Mike, we have someone else waiting for us. He's not sitting behind a desk. I'm interested.
We got Bill.
We got Bill. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you going?
I'm actually at a different desk in the same room. It's over there. It's over. Yeah, I just didn't feel like moving everything back over, and it's like not booting up. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm on my cell phone. So you get the selfie camera here, so it's fun. So
Great. Bill, which fictional villain was right, or just not all that bad?
Roy Batty. Let's go with the obvious.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I'm amazed, like I got this far. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, Blade Runner is one of the best sci-fi noir movies ever made, and it all comes down to he's a robot has become sentient, and he's just questioning. He just wants answers, which is something we all kind of want, and he just wants to know, like, why did you make me this way? Why can't I have more time? Like, this is just brutal, and it's like he's not doing the things that he's doing to be mean. He just wants the answer that he wants. Like, he doesn't even hate Decker. He's just like, I feel bad for you. He's like, but like, why can't I have more time? Like, why did you do this to me? And I think that's what makes him such an endearing and long-standing character. And like, it's easily the best performance of Rutger Hauer's career. So.
Yeah, and I think if you've heard of this one and not seen it, you've at least always heard of the Tears in the Rain, that monologue, and it holds up when you watch it for the first time, and it really does like break my heart a little bit. And this is coming from a robot. And I think what you sort of bring up, like we've just had two sci-fi picks back to back, there is something that we can look at motivations and morality and things like that, because I think there is a way that you could argue of swapping the roles, where Rutger Hauer could be the hero and Harrison Ford trying to hunt him down could be the villain. Like, you can definitely look at it from that point of view as well. Mike, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, this is one of the best picks of the night for sure, because it is the whole prospect of he is just asking questions. He is a robot. He's sentient, but he's just a robot. He doesn't understand really what exactly is going on and why he doesn't have that much time left. And everything he's doing, yeah, again, it is an evil fashion of what he's doing, but he's doing it because he doesn't understand what's going on.
Yeah, Phil, thank you for coming on, giving us a great pick. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
It's literally what I do.
It is. If there's any we haven't talked about in the chat and you want us to bring them up, fire them off now. Mike, you haven't even given us your pick.
Yeah, and I did not expect this to get picked, but I'm kind of glad I get to bring it up. I'm bringing up a man that does not like authority, especially government authority. So he uses it in the most bodacious way. I'm picking Bodhi from 91's Point Break. Patrick Swayze, the Zen man. This guy is not truly a bad guy. All he wants to do is get money to party with his peeps and go surfing all fucking summer long. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. Like his fucking pal Rosie, he's an evil sort of. He's the one that kidnaps his ex-girlfriend. He's the one that does all the evil shit. The other guys are kind of like, some of them are kind of fucking evil, but he does not kill anybody until they shoot his friend, until he has no choice to get out of there. They shoot his friend, they kill his friend. So yeah, he's going to shoot them himself. He doesn't even, like, when he finds out that Keanu Reeves is a fucking agent, he doesn't shoot him in the face, which he probably should have done, like when he knows it. But no, he keeps him alive. He keeps him alive the whole time. He doesn't want to actually hurt him. He just wants to go off and go surfing in Australia. That's all he wants.
I was going to say, and where does he want to go surfing?
Yeah, he wants to go surfing in Australia. That's all he wants to fucking do is surf in Australia. Everyone else has like death wishes and stuff like that, but he really doesn't. He's just living life the best that he can. And yeah, he does rob banks, which is inherently not evil. It's bad. It's not a good thing to do, but he's doing it for a fun reason. He's not doing it for an evil reason. He's not stealing from the people. He's stealing from government shit.
I like this choice. I need to give this one another rewatch because I remember when we were brainstorming stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a good one. He's just like not a dick at least. Like, and he's very charismatic villain as well, which is great. Alan and I, when we were brainstorming, he said straight away, he's like, what about the kids from Willy Wonka? And I'm like, well, and I think that's only because he thinks that I'm the living embodiment of Veruca Salt. Because
well, they're not
because
evil.
I like that character.
Yeah, they're just
not
children.
evil.
They're just children.
They just don't know any better. Some of them are just a product of their circumstances and of their like upbringing and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely. I like Veruca Salt. I just like doing just gooses. I want a goose to lay go at ex-barista. Like, go up, sis. Like, it's great. Another one I thought of last night as well. That's lovely. Another one I thought of last night. Very obscure one. Jim is gonna love this pick. I can't remember her name, and it's bothering me. I should have looked it up before. But Parker Posey's character in Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, yeah.
So she runs this mega conglomerate where there's doing subliminal messaging into the music. But it's just, in 2001, they hit the nail on the head of what would be happening 20 years later with influencers and manufacturing trends and what is cool and what is hip and putting everything out. So, Payson, thank you very much. The parents of the villains of Willy Wonka.
Yes.
But yes, okay, so maybe the worst thing they do is maybe crashing, like doing the bad things to the musicians when they run out of time. But I think the purpose behind it is like a little bit sound, she's just predicting what was going to happen. The other one I thought it was Mewtwo from Pokemon, the first movie. And that sort of a little bit falls into what we've been touched on earlier with like genetically experimenting on things and them uprising, like it's going to fucking happen, so don't do it. Like so, and I think that question asks a lot more heavier questions than what I was. That movie asked a lot more heavier questions than what I was prepared to face as a 9-year-old when that movie came out.
I do have another pick. Oh, yeah.
Oh, go. I've got one last one. I want to end on it. So.
Oh, okay. From Devil's Rejects, the sheriff Roland Forsythe is not. They put him as a villain in Devil's Rejects because you put the main fucking serial killers as your heroes in that movie, which is a very strange way, but Rob Zombie does it brilliantly. But the sheriff is not a bad guy. He tortures them at the end, yes, but they've been killing thousands of fucking people. So he has every right to do what he needs to do to stop these fucking people. Like, it's ridiculous the way they do it, but it makes sense of why he's doing it. He puts him as a villain, but he's not really the villain of that movie. He's the actual hero trying to stop serial killers from killing multiple people.
Okay, so a bit of a Dexter sort of thing.
Yes.
For those that haven't watched. Yay! Yeah. She's just, there's some not great things, but yeah, I can understand why. And then the last one I want to bring up, because Alan said we must talk about Tim Curry today. And I thought about it, And I'm thinking Long John Silver from Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh, there we go.
Because I find Long John Silver an interesting fictional villain in any capacity, because even in like Treasure Planet as well, because it's really hard. He's a pirate. It's sort of like in the given. Like you can't really trust him. Like it's not it's backstabber in a sense, but you should know what you're fucking getting into if you're dealing with pirates. And I think he does build that fatherly parental figure relationship with Jim. So, and at the end, like just ends up going on his boat and going about his way. So I find Tim Curry just so charismatic as well. So I like.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go a different direction with Tim Curry, which would have been interesting.
With
as well.
Rocky Horror.
Pennywise.
Well, is there a Stephen King villain that's not really the villain? I don't know. I think you're right.
Green Mile is probably the biggest villain of all.
That's going to be it for our fictional villains, but I thought about that too.
Yeah, one thought.
There's a subgenre of movies, also like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and things like that. Yeah. It's like people just doing their jobs, people in position of power that people are playing up and just trying to do what they do. So yes, definitely. Carrie, but I don't see Carrie as a villain. Carrie's mum is the villain of that movie, and like maybe the things that all that's connected to. Yeah. But Carrie, I think, is like a good for her type moment. I love a good Lucille Bluth. Good for her. Mike, as we wrap up our show, let's touch on what video store challenge has we watched recently.
Oh, yes.
I've got my number 2, a movie nominated for Best Director with Mrs. Miniver. I've got 29, a movie Mike gave a good fucking movie 4-star review to with Oliver. Was not impressed with that, but that's another story. Labyrinth, a movie set in a fantasy land, and my Michelle Yeoh, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Oh, and a movie from 1983 with The Dead Zone. So, Mike, what have you done recently?
I did The Biggest Blind Spot, which is I did Rio Bravo, which that was all the movies I've seen. That's probably the biggest blind spot I had. Other than that, I think I only did one more, which was a movie on a train. I did a Flashback, which is a Kiefer Sutherland movie from the 1990, which was really interesting. It was an interesting movie. I had been wanting to see it, so it was good that I got to see it. Yeah, other than that, those are the only 2 that I've done for this week for the list.
If you are getting close to finishing your video store challenge, or if you just want to tell us how you're progressing, or if we're inspiring you to start it, like it's only February, like I'm only 20 something movies into 60, so like this is like my long-term goal. So let us know how you're going. But again, a gigantic thank you to everyone that jumps on the show. You guys make it, our chat. It really gives me the warmest of vibes on my Saturday morning, and I hope you enjoy your Friday evenings with us. And we'll see you next week for House Party.
Yes. And before we leave, we do have a prize wheel going on. It's going to be the end of February, so I think we have just about 2 weeks left, a little less than 2 weeks. What you need to do is you need to go like our actual public page. We've made a public page, which you can find in our private group on a couple of posts. I'll post it up again tomorrow. We're trying to get out to share more. We're trying to expand more. So this is the easy way to do it since we can't share stuff from our private group. So if you go and like our page and then share one of our recent videos, you'll be put on the prize wheel to get your own t-shirt. Either we will send you one of the t-shirt we already have, or you can talk to us and we can create one for you, one that you would like, as long as it's semi-appropriate. We can create a t-shirt for you, and you can buy it.
I love that in our community you have to create that disclaimer.
Especially for our video store community, you got to do it. But yes, go make sure to like that page. We are going to be transferring stuff over probably around April-ish to where we're going to keep our private group more of a conversational thing, putting up polls and stuff like that, and we're going to have the other group more of the links and throwing up different shows that we do. So go and like that so you know what's coming up. Like Kelly said, we appreciate everything you guys do. Every other week, you guys jumping on for this. And yes, House Party will be coming back next Friday. And then also go check out both show, Movies All My Life. Go check out Brooklyn's music video.
Draft yesterday.
Yeah.
It was good. It was
they
a good
killed
time.
it. Go check out that. Go check out Pacing on Monday, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Ant-Man. So make sure to check
Yes.
that out. Non-spoiler, of course. He always does non-spoiler. But yes, thank you everybody for jumping on. Kelly, do you want to end on anything else?
I'm on the spot. No. Bye.
See you, everybody.
And we're clear.